All right. What's going on, everyone? Aaron here, Clean Cuts Lawn Care. It is Monday morning. So, the past couple, I'll say couple weeks, little jobs have been starting to come in. I did that landscaping job last Monday, where I, did all them railroad ties and mulch, stuff like that. Bunch of trim jobs came in. Most of them are ones that we do every year anyway. It's just that time of the year to start getting them done. So I have some of those scheduled for today. I have some of those scheduled for next Monday. But we are getting some rain this week. I kind of hope we don't get a ton of rain. Now the lawns, even though they're finally pretty dry, some are still growing substantially, and some you're starting to see a little bit of brown on them. Not bad, but a little bit. And not just our lawns, all the lawns here. You can actually see some right there. Yeah. So here's another one. You're starting to see some brown on them. So if the weather is good, we'll be going back to mowing tomorrow. I might do kind of a mix this week of mowing and curb appeal services. A lot of the properties have weeds growing like crazy right now, in the garden beds and stuff like that. So, as I'm rolling up on some of these lawns this week, if I can get away with not mowing them and doing some curb appeal service, that's really, really needed. Get some of these weeds out of the beds. Maybe spray some areas that are safe to spray with some general weed killer that I have. Alright, I'm just gonna grab a couple pictures. Got it. Alright, this is job number 2. These are the 2 front bushes they're pretty hard to do. This is the area I told you guys about. She had me cut back last year really far, and you can see this used to come out like this, nice and green, but you know, it is what it is. Here's the 4, 5, let me see, 2 bushes there, that's 3. I think this is all these are separate, so there's actually 6 back here. These go all the way down to that metal pole right there. That's how far down these go. This one goes down to that wooden fence right there. So about right here. All right, let's get started. I trimmed them once, blew them off. Now I'm going to touch them up just like I always do with them. And after that, I'll clean up all everything in the back and then go to the front. Okay. All right, these are the ones. Alright, I think this first one's done. Pretty much. A couple of little things I see. You gotta be so meticulous with these ones. Now you see how these fall off real little. I don't go and blow these like hard. I might lightly put a blower through here just to grab this, but lightly. because otherwise you don't want to trim these ones twice. They're not like the other shrubs in the back or that first one I did. You don't want to be going over these twice. You know, you could wind up being here all damn day. Alright, so the trimming is done on this one all the way around. All the overgrowth is gone. Now you see how this left side is about 6 inches lower than that side. Okay, even the bottom here, it comes up really far as to over here where it's completely filled in. So it's always a little different on that left side. In order to level up that top, you would have to go in there with a chainsaw on the top here and go inside and remove about 6 inches all the way across.
Looks good.
All right, so the trimming is all done, front and back. Like I said, these ones are not easy to do. You really can't make any mistakes on these.
Looks good.
Thank you. All right, so the work day is over. Both jobs are done. They both turned out great. Where I was showing that one, I don't know if I'm going to edit it out or not. The big bush shrub on the left-hand side of the house, if you broke that shrub up into quarters, the quarter all the way to the left is about 6 to 8 inches lower than the other 3/4 on the right, and that's because the way the roof is set up, when the snow melts, a lot of the snow falls right on top of that section on the left, kind of holds it there, and nothing on the 3/4 on the right. So she asked about feathering the 3/4 on the right down to match that quarter on the left. It's not really possible unless you go inside of it, probably with a chainsaw, pruners, stuff like that, and you would have to really cut a lot of it down. Like I said, some areas 6, other areas 8 inches. So I feathered it the best I could on the top and just kind of feathered it right in. You can still see what the quarter on the left is lower, but not severely. It, you know, looked really good. Every year she loves it. Neighbors always come over to her house about those bushes after we trim them. She's given our number. A lot of neighbors of hers have asked for our number because of those bushes after we trimmed them. Not one of them's ever called though. Weird. Oh, we got another company over there trimming right there. So anyway, the first job that we did, got another company out here mowing. The first job I did, you guys know how we have it set up. We schedule weekly service. We charge a monthly price, not per mow, per service, whatever. And a lot of you guys that are mowing that do charge per service, you really should add in curb appeal services. That way you're getting paid every single week of the mowing year. Just because the grass doesn't need mowed one week doesn't mean you shouldn't be getting paid. You know, get over there, pull weeds, maybe re-edge a garden bed, maybe you trim a shrub, something. Curb appeal services. Anyway though, so the first job, he knows how we charge monthly, obviously he pays and everything, but he's also said, oh, if the grass don't need cut, you don't gotta come, everything's fine. Which, that might sound nice to some guys. It might go, oh, that's great. If the grass don't need mowed, I can skip it and still collect my whole collection for the month. But listen, don't do that. Do not ever do that. That can go wrong. So let's just say, example, you're mowing every week, and then July comes around, late June and July, and there's a couple weeks there where it doesn't need mowed. You skip it, but you still collect that full amount of money. Okay, and then maybe it happens in August one week, so now you're 3 weeks of it. Well, then that customer tells you, hey, I want you to come and re-edge all my garden beds, pull all the weeds, you know, install 5 or 10 yards of mulch and do all this stuff. You give them the price for it all. So it's going to be a good, you know, nice price for you as the business owner. It's a lot of work. But he thinks that price is a little high. Well, now he's got ground on you. Well, hey, I've been paying you full price for mowing, and there was 3 or 4 weeks you didn't mow it, but I still paid you anyway. If you would have came and did the curb appeal service, you would have already pulled these weeds and maybe re-edged the garden bed. So, you know, I think you should discount it. Well, if you didn't go over there and do that curb appeal service on the weeks it didn't need mowed, even though he told you not to, now you're up against a wall with this person. Don't do that. Go ahead and get over there and do that curb appeal. The only time you shouldn't be getting over there and doing something if you're charging a monthly price for a weekly service, as if you got rained out for the week. That's it. Other than that, get over there and do that curb appeal. Now, there might be a week where nothing needs mowed or whatever's going on. Maybe you need to do a bunch of maintenance and stuff to keep your business going. That's different. But other than that, you know, get over there, do the work that you're charging them for. That way they don't got nothing over you. You know, because what about if the week before that you had your truck in the shop, or you had to do a big repair on it? It cost you all kinds of money. Now this job pops up, and now you can make enough money to get you back to right or even, and now he wants a discount because you haven't been over there doing that curb appeal, but you're still collecting on it. So if that's the way you're collecting, make sure you're doing the services for it. All right, guys, I got to get out of here. If you liked the video, hit like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment down below. Let me know everything I'm doing wrong, and keep the edges clean, boys. I'm out.